Are you looking for a business to acquire that might help you get a visa in the state of Florida? Then follow these guidelines as a great tip for getting you started. First of all, go to Google or your search engine of preference and type in B-U-Y, like you buy something, B-I-Z-F-L for Florida.com. BuyBizFL.com. It doesn't have to be capitalized, uppercase, lowercase, doesn't really matter. And you're going to come to a page that looks like this. Now, if you've gotten a calendar that you can find on the internet, if you don't know what counties you would prefer to be in, then that's fine. I'm going to select all counties, but if you're very specific, you want to be in the Hillsborough County area or the Miami area or the Gainesville, Florida area, you can select county by county. If you want to collect more than one, then head down and then hit your command key and you can hit multiple locations. You can click on it a second time to remove those locations. For this purpose, I'm going to hit all counties. Now, you also might have specific industries that you'd like to be in. Quite popular are restaurants and bars, and here's a category for restaurants and bars, etc. You can also, in many cases, come over to this section right here and display the subcategories once you've described bars. So maybe you just want to see, as an example, donut shops or sandwich shops or something that's relatively simple, etc. I'm going to remove all of these, reset, and you can see in the larger categories that you have subcategories in a lot of the different sections. But for the intents and purposes of this, we're just going to keep it open to all categories, all restaurants, and I'm going to be more specific in some other details that I think you might find helpful. We're going to go to click on established businesses, because if you're looking for a visa, well, you can follow the guidelines and realize that the law allows you to do a lot of things. Your attorney is probably going to recommend that you have something of some substance and substantial investment. I'm going to put a selling price of and make a minimum of at least selling for $100,000. And I'm going to put a maximum on here, and you can choose this thing that fits your schedule too, for up to $500,000. If you want to be more specific, you can enter a number over here, but I'm just going to keep this relatively simple. Now, you also are going to realize that you're going to need a certain amount of income for yourself. I'm going to select show me businesses that are making at least $100,000 profit. You can be specific here, or you can put the general thing. And then if you wanted something very, very specific, you could put a word in here if you couldn't find it in here to help you find it. For instance, you might pick restaurants and then ones that sell liquor, and you could type in the word liquor here. I'm going to suggest that you now click on to the red box below that says Advanced Search. And now you're going to have a lot more details. I'm going to say that we've already selected some of the boxes that were on the first go round, selling for at least $100,000, but not more than $500,000. And you could pick a down payment if you wanted to have financing, making at least $100,000, right? And you could also pick in businesses that have certain amount of gross sales. Now, down below, you can find some other things. You can pick on ones that have been updated within a certain time period. A lot of people say, I just want to find the most modern business. And if you're searching over and over again, you might update it every 30 days. But realize that there's businesses that can be on the market for quite a long time and be really great businesses. So don't think you're finding only good businesses if you put them in for 15 days or 30 days or something like that. What I would recommend, if you're looking for a business that's going to qualify for a visa, that you click this box down below saying that it may qualify for a business. Now, there's a couple other things down below that you can choose from. One of it says, do you want to have real estate? Not included is in most cases included or available. I'm going to leave this alone. But the other thing is where the data resources come into play, and this is going to be very helpful for you if you're trying to get a good business that has representation that you can take to the embassy and show them that it's making money, right? They're going to want to see things like tax returns and or profit and loss statements. But here's some other categories that people have in here. There's something called annualized. That means somebody could make some sales in January and project out how they're going to do for the following year. They might be owner to prove. Wink, wink. They got to come back and let them prove those secret records to you. This happens for a lot of businesses that have a lot of cash and they aren't showing it. Owner estimate means maybe they don't even have any books and records. Pro forma means they're projecting out partial year, non-operating. This might be a case where you were interested. You already had an idea. Let's say you were looking at putting in your own pizza restaurant and you wanted to buy an empty pizza restaurant that was already logoed and equipped but wasn't operating. That's not the case for what you're going to do right now. And then sale of assets, a little bit like the non-operating business. I'm going to say, and here I'll do a couple different searches for us. First of all, I'm just going to hit search without clicking these resources. Remember, I got the state of Florida, so it's going to be quite large. You're going to see all these different categories. And I'm scrolling just down to the bottom to see that I've got 454 businesses in this category. 454. If you want to go back or refine your search, by the way, you're going to hit refine search. Now, keep in mind this 454, that's having all the different ways of showing it. I'm going to go back and say, and hit my advanced search once again. I'm going to say, show me ones with tax returns. And I'm going to hit start search again, this box here. Remember, we had 454 before. Now we're down to, let's see how many we got, 107. So almost 25% are going to have the types of records that you're going to want to see. I hope this is making sense. You might be a little bit more liberal and say, profit loss statement, and remember, if you click down your shift bar, you can open up two things, profit loss and tax returns, and go down. Let's see about how many businesses we have on there. 217. So a little less than half of the businesses are already in a category that's acceptable. Now, you also might go back. I'm going to go back one last time. I hope I'm not being too confusing. Refine the search. Lets you go back. And again, you could pick certain categories if you wanted to, but we're just going to go through and say, show us businesses that, again, the advanced search button has to be clicked, that are these tax returns, profit loss statements, and then start the search. Now, 254 is a lot of businesses, and I realize that, but we're just going to have to deal with that for the moment. And I'm not going to go through each one by one, but I'm going to go through a couple different ones and look at these businesses. What you're going to see on here are a couple different things. You're going to see the industry that it's been in. If you notice the blue letters, advertising, agriculture, they're a bit in alphabetical order by category, okay? The second thing you're going to see is down below the county that they're located in. So this is in Miami-Dade County. The price is $470,000. They're willing to do some financing, so they'll take $420,000. You might say, well, how much is it making? How much can I take home as a working owner if I buy this business? And you see on here, they're representing $108,590, and that they claim that they made for the year just under $1 million. Now, keep in mind these two numbers again real quickly, 470 and 420. I generally tell people to think through the details and think, if you like a business, go ahead and make an offer. You don't have to have the full price. Most people expect some sort of negotiation, but they can't go too far down. I think a lot of times people have about a 10% flexibility for sure. So you might think of this business and say, hey, I'll offer 90% of whatever this number is as a good starting place. You can also, even if they are not offering a down payment, you can also, at least try to make that offer and put it in writing. And there's other videos that we have that can help you put that together. Now, let's say we like this business. Let's say you were in the $425,000 range for a budget, and this is a little bit over your budget, but not that far off. You could live off $108,000, although you'd like to make more, but maybe when you take over, you could grow the business. You'll see on here, it says full service digital business for sale. This is not my listing, by the way. This is one of my comrades in our community, and you can click on here for more details. Now it's going to open this whole screen up and give you a little bit more information. And again, read through all this stuff. I need to read it piece by piece, but you're going to see that it has full service digital, that paragraph before. The business is, they say relocatable. It's not home-based. The N means no, so home-based, nope. Is it a franchise? Nope. Is it lender pre-qualified? Even if it was lender pre-qualified, most buyers from out of the country that don't have a green card or U.S. citizenship are not going to be able to get a loan anyway, unless it's the seller that's providing some financing. May qualify for a visa. We want to see that it says yes, but realize that people assign this yes and no value for the visa kind of liberally, so it's not 100% sure. It's just that it's likely. And so you may qualify. Well, it may or may not. A couple other things to look at. This is accounts rec, accounts receivable, meaning if this business did a lot of delivery of products, goods, or services and waited for the payments to come in, there might be an amount of accounts receivable. That requires some tricky thinking in some cases, that it comes with a certain amount of inventory. In this case, it says about $10,000, and for the price that they're offering, they click yes. The $10,000 would come in the price. So if you offered the full price as an example, then they should be giving you at least $10,000 worth of inventory. Now, also included should always be the FF&E. And you might ask, what is FF&E? And I'll tell you, if you don't know or you do know, either way, it is furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So this means that in their mind, they're believing that the used value of the current equipment is somewhere around $300,000. In almost every case, they haven't done a precise independent equipment valuation, but they're saying, look, we're going to give you all this equipment. We know this is worth a certain amount. $300,000 is probably pretty realistic. The one thing that is specific is the inventory. And in other words, if you went to the closing and they only had $8,000 worth of ink and paper, etc., then they would discount the business by $2,000. And if it was a little over that, let's say it was $1,000 more in inventory, you would owe them the difference between $10,000 and the actual amount. In this case, I made up $11,000, so you would pay $1,000 more because you're getting a little bit more. Let's go to the next category, which is leasehold. And it almost always comes with the business. There's sometimes this question of whether the leasehold is really something that you get to keep and own, because it is generally the way that they fix up the business, paint the walls, the fixtures, etc., things that usually stay in the business. So if you moved this business down the street a year from now, you might be able to take whatever inventory is there, and you would definitely take your furniture, fixtures, and equipment, but you couldn't really take the leasehold improvements. Nonetheless, we want you to say, hey, this is all in for. This is all part of the whole deal. And so you're getting a pretty solid deal the way they presented it. And then if you decide, hey, I can live with these type of things, I'd like to know more. So click here to have the agent contact you. So you would click on this button down below. It's opening up. And this is where you would name your information, and you type in your name, your address, your county, your phone number, etc. Just fill in the information. If you don't have something like a fax machine, then don't worry about it. Put a little message. I am looking for a business that will get me a visa, and I'm from Canada or Italy or Slovenia or whatever country you're from. And then to make sure we don't have robots doing this type of thing or taking over, they usually ask you to enter this code, and then you'll just hit send. I didn't fill it in. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back and go from there. But I hope this is useful and helpful to you in terms of you looking for the business. This is the original screen we just had. And if you don't like this business after looking on it, you can always click back screen and go back to the list of other businesses. Now, in this case, you've got a couple hundred. You might want to be more specific and bring down the number of businesses by saying certain categories. Keep in mind a couple other things real quickly. I'm going to go to like construction, for instance. Many, not all, many of the construction-related businesses require complicated licenses that might take you a year, 2 years, or even 4 years. If you really want to be in the industry, let's say you've already got experience, you might be able to have the seller or somebody else that might be in the business hold the license for a period of time. We have had people go through the process, but you want to make sure that you can do all that completely in the process. And then keep in mind there's other businesses that you can click through page 1, page 2, etc. Look through all these. I hope this is helpful. I know it took a little longer than I wanted to. Thank you. Make great things happen. This is Brian Stevens. My contact information is down below, 833-289-2491. That stands for 833-BUYBIZ1, BuyBiz1. And you can also reach me at biz@BuyBizUSA.com. All right, make great things happen. And remember, if you want to reach out to the, check the website, it's BuyBizFL.com. Take care. Bye-bye.